Oh.
Can you guys hear us now?
Alright, we're gonna mute it.
All right, guys. All right, guys. Sorry for the technical difficulties. So we're gonna run it back.
Welcome to episode number 16 of
What's Brewing, sis?
I'm Shelly.
I'm Bianca.
And I'm Deonna, and here we come together to serve the brew.
We were talking about a lot.
6 minutes of mute.
About a lot of stuff, guys.
So
So
thanks, Iris, for letting us know.
yes,
Thank you,
Iris is definitely one of our absolute most loyal brew crew
Yes.
members. So we are so thankful for you, because girl, we would have did the whole episode.
Mute.
So thank you. And Iris, please give us a shout out. Let us know if we're good. Let us know if y'all hear us out there.
Yeah, can you hear us now?
So perfect. So I'm gonna have one of us just go on YouTube too, so we can see the comments to make sure that we all good. But what we were actually talking about, we recapped last week's episode, which was a two-parter. Okay, so you can hear us.
Lower the volume.
So what we were talking about, we recapped relationship goals number 1 and relationship goals part 2.
Yeah.
We just want to say thank you so much to Lester, aka Mr. Real Talk,
Mr. Real Talk.
for joining the show. That it was absolutely amazing. And I think I posed the question to you, Bianca. What did you think about Lester's comments?
I think it was good to hear the topic of relationships from a male's perspective. I think a lot of times we assume what we think men should be thinking or are thinking, and vice versa. I think men do the same thing. But more communication needs to be had, more conversations like that. So it was really interesting hearing it from a guy, like what men are thinking and doing out here in these streets. So.
Yeah. Are you wearing your heels?
I am not. Absolutely not. Listen, guys, I'm 42. I know there are women past their 40s who wear heels, but I've made it out here without bunions, without corns, no hammer time. I'm not going back to the heels. I will wear some platforms and wedges, but that's about it. I need support out here.
Yeah. we have to post to Lester like is it hair massage you want, or because I am bunion free over here too, and I guess that has a lot to do with the fact that I'm not wearing heels every day. But I will say that going out on a nice date, you know, if a man's treating me nice and wants to take me out, I would wear heels.
Like heels?
Heels.
Okay. I haven't seen you wear heels.
Girl, don't be throwing me under the bus.
Don't worry, guys. Shelly got a pair of heels in the back of the closet waiting.
She does.
Some red pumps.
The red pumps?
Okay. Pumps out. But yes, like if it's a matter of like, I'm not trying to like take a stroll downtown or nothing like that. But for me, like I always have an extra pair in my car just to switch out and change. But I thought that was very interesting that they kind of care about that. About shoes. What did you think, Deonna?
Yeah, I enjoyed the show. Talking to Lester was amazing, and I think it's okay. I'm not a stiletto. I might wear a heel, but it's not going to be like 6 inches. More than a kitten, less than a stiletto or bed or a platform.
Bianca will push these kitten heels.
I mean, I have some, but you know,
I don't have a kitten heel.
but not for a date. For date night.
I don't know something about that kidneys. I don't even like that. So since we've been, because the last 2 episodes were pre-recorded, we've literally been gone for like 2 weeks. So we're so excited to be back with you guys live. So if you got questions for us about last episode, if you have any comments that you want to make to anything that you want to share about Lester, we'll make sure that he hears it and he knows about it, and make sure that we're all good. So what have we been up to since we've been gone those last 2 weeks?
We went to an event called Dreamers.
Dreamers Worldwide.
There you go. Yep. More. You might hear more about that. Maybe even get the host of it here, the CEO of that here. But it was great. So it was women in business or women who are aspiring to be in business. All came together. It was like a luncheon. And
networking.
Yeah, networking luncheon, and we all got together and talked about business. Some people were celebrated. And it was good to network and pass around cards, and I learned some stuff from a few people there. So
it definitely was like out of our comfort zone because we had to get up, walk around, meet people. And what was the questions that we had to ask?
What's your name? What do you do? And how can I be of service to you?
Which is like, that last one, that's some deep stuff.
I'm like,
all right, well, I gotta do something. But it's okay. But, sometimes I'm just like, that seems to be such a...
Like, what are they going to ask?
Right. That's not what I meant to say. But it's okay. Yeah, I found that very interesting, but very enjoyable. Like,
Absolutely.
it was 100% Black women, and I don't think that was necessarily intended, but it just so happened to turn out that way. And it was just nice to meet women in different areas doing different things, and everybody was excited about our cafe opening.
Yeah, there was actually a couple of Hispanic women there as well.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, our cafe, and from us telling people about it, they were like, "Where is it gonna be? Is it open? How can I get there?" So
I think a lot of people were just like really pulling from our vibe as friends. They're like, "Oh my God, you guys been friends for so long," and it just. It was a room full of good energy, like everybody, so it was great.
It was, absolutely it was. So before we get the show started, before we get into Love is Blind or not, we want to bring something special to you guys. So enjoy this.
Un momento.
Hello, everybody. I'm writer Jacqueline Stewart, and I'm super excited to be right here on What's Brewing Sis podcast. I first want to thank you ladies so much for taking the time to read my book, and not just that, but for sharing the story of Tanya's journey of forgiveness with your community. This is a story that encompasses losing love, healing, forgiveness, self-discovery, friendship, and finding love again. I want you to take time to read it and then join me right back here on September 29th.
All right, guys, we're back. So we'll be chatting with the author. This is the book, Tanya's Journey. Can you see it? I gotta get my band on.
We'll also leave a link where you guys can go onto Amazon and purchase the book. And if you get it on Prime, it comes so fast. So.
Yeah. So I just only cracked it. These two ladies have read it all the way through. They're overachievers.
It's a page turner, so you can get through it pretty quickly because it's like, okay, you'll be done in no time.
Yeah. So if you're one of those type of readers, which I am, where if you kind of read a book and you're like, I wonder why the author did this. I wonder why the author did that. This on September 29th, we are going to have the author here. She's going to discuss the book with us, and we're going to ask her questions. And she's so open and willing. She is she is amazing.
Her life is like, she has so many layers to it. So this book is pretty amazing, and it's about friendships.
Yeah.
It's about forgiveness, love,
heartbreak, all of those things.
So this will be a good little weekend read with a cup of your favorite brew. If you want to come on that.
Yeah.
And
we have some exciting news.
She can't even wait. Let me finish. Okay. So the book is called Tanya's Journey of Forgiveness. The author is Jacqueline Stewart. get it wherever books are got.
Yes. You have until September 29th to read the book. And like I said, you can read it in a week. You can read it in a couple of days. You can read it in a day.
Yeah, I think I read it over 3 days. So
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's pretty quick.
I read it in a day. So.
I'll get to reading it soon.
Yes. So please join us back here and meet Jacqueline. It's going to be an amazing episode.
Yes, yes.
All right. So before we get into our next episode, I just want to ask some ice-breaking questions.
Yeah.
These are always fun, and comment in the comments what you would do or say or answer the question. So question number 1: if your life was a novel, what would it be? What would it be titled?
If my life was a novel, what would it be titled? It would be like, oh God, come back to me, guys. I think I was thinking about this earlier, and I was like, I don't think I ever came up with a title.
You want me to go and then you go?
Yeah.
Okay, so the title of my book would be called, as I kind of cheated, I kind of thought this out before. So it would be Nial, which means, okay, so it'd be called Nial, and the subtitle would be Sweet as a Butterfly, Strong as a Lion. And the word Nial means strength and sweetness put together.
Okay, and she put a lot of thought. And we did not have that type of preparation. Okay, so I just said, to keep it simple, my book title would be The Deonna Experience.
Whoa, okay.
Jesus
Christ. She done made my book. They put my book back on the shelf.
I'm gonna keep mine a little mysterious. I'm gonna title my book "One Day I'll Write a Book," because if you go look at that name on the shelf, you'd be like, "Well, it is a book, so why would she one day write a book?" And then you'll go look at the back of it and be like, "Okay, let me take this book."
I love that. Okay, shoot, I guess I thought mine was a little bit more. If you could spend one day in someone else's shoes, who would it be and why?
I think that one was tough for me because it's like you don't know what anybody else is going through. You think somebody has an amazing life.
Very true.
And then when you actually get in their life, you're like, So the only person I could really think of was Michelle Obama. I would love to know like stuff that happened in the White House. I would love to know all the secrets. But also she's married to a really amazing guy. He just be loving all up on her. Like they just unveiled the White House portraits.
Yeah.
And Barack was like, y'all probably all the best things about Michelle, her strength and blah, 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 and that she fine. And she started blushing. It was so cute.
I love that.
That's the only person I could think of.
Very cool. What about you?
Last, I'm still
yes. Okay, so I also thought this one out too. My answer would be Oprah. So I could sell myself money.
There you go.
Yes, I get it.
Oh, shoot.
And that was my why. I see your why. Now you gotta tell us your why.
I'm like, I like the Oprah Zell.
You want money, I agree. Like Deonna Shelly. And then when Oprah get back in her real body, she was like, well, who's selling the money? That is money.
I wouldn't take a lot. I would take, just a little bit. She can share.
She gonna miss it.
Shoot, you gave me time to think, but I still didn't come up with anybody. So, does it have to be a real person? Can it be fictional?
It can be fictional.
Okay, I'll walk in the shoes of the Queen of Bridgerton.
Okay, I like that.
Interesting.
I like that.
I do like that.
I don't have Bridgerton fantasy, but yeah.
I thought you were going to say the Queen of England.
No.
She passed today.
Yes,
so,
she did pass.
Yes, that is very
All right.
sad.
You know what's funny? And it's not funny. I have a weird sense of humor, I have to tell you guys.
That's okay.
So my mom came out and was like, the Queen died. And I was like, Queen Latifah.
You know what?
And you know what's crazy? I keep seeing this meme on Instagram. People saying the same thing. I was like, wow.
You know what? That is black.
I was like, what is the Queen Latifah?
African American British virus. Okay.
Queen Latifah.
Queen Latifah, what happened?
No, we love Queen Latifah.
Yeah, and the queen.
And we're very happy
Rest in
that she
peace.
is still alive
Yeah.
and breathing. Question number 3.
Oh my
If
God.
you had to describe yourself in 3 words, what would it be?
Resilient. Very compassionate.
Ooh, I love that.
And a word that I don't like, but strong. I would say strong.
Very cool. What about you,
I'm
Deonna?
gonna keep that last spot.
All right, keeping the last spot going. So for me, it would be sweet, strong, and creative.
Okay.
For me, it would be compassionate, complex, and methodical.
Wow,
Well,
Jesus.
that's
That's a novel. Yeah. I want to be methodical. Okay, so since our book kind of plays off love, we had relationship goals last week. We want to keep the love talk going.
Mhm.
So the title of this episode is "Love Is Blind or Not."
Or not.
Or not.
So Bianca, tell us about the TV show.
Yeah, so this came to light because recently a couple from the show announced they're getting a divorce.
Mhm.
So it was a Black couple. It was Ayanna and Jared. I really loved them on the show. So the concept of the show Love Is Blind is I think there's 15 men and 15 women, and they're all separated into what they call pods. They're little small rooms. Where they'll meet in the pod and they get to talk to each other, but they can't see each other. And over the course of a couple weeks, they continue to meet different people, and then once they make a connection, they start talking to that person more. If they, the end goal is for them to propose to the person that they find.
Pressure.
Well, I think a lot of people organically fall for the person based off the conversation.
Oh, absolutely.
And then after they announce their engagement, they get to meet, and then they go on this trip, and blah blah blah. Long story short, some of the people end up married, and some don't.
Okay.
So it brought up the theory: is love blind? Like, can you? And we talked about this a little bit in relationship goals. What if you meet the person that meets all of your needs, but may be missing one aspect? And so it's like, can you fall in love with somebody based off everything that you've heard or conversation with them and connecting with them organically, but without seeing them?
Ooh, Deonna, you take that.
So I think theoretically it can happen. People do it, but I think there's some elements still of fantasy, because if you haven't seen them, then you can only imagine, picture what they look like, and that picture of what you have in your head might not be what's in reality. So then I think that's what happens sometimes when the people come out from behind the walls or whatever, and they see each other. Some people are like, yes. Some people,
Yeah.
some people are like, no. So I mean, although it may seem shallow, I think some people do have a preference for the visual, what someone looks like.
And how important is that?
So respectfully, could you do it? Yeah, I know you're married, so I'm just saying, if you weren't married.
I think I could, if I were like just having a verbal connection with somebody, I could feel like, again, but I think it's because it's an element of still you putting your own spin on what the person might look like.
Right.
I don't know that will hold up if then when I come from behind the wall, the person looks like Quasimodo.
Well, and that's the thing. So none of the people are like Quasimodo or like the Hunchback of Notre Dame or anything like that. But they may not be attractive to you. So they're attractive people, but just not specifically for you. So can you get over the looks if the person has the right income, if they are a protector, if they are kind, if they are loyal, if they are all of
those. Remember those,
right?
Because those things have to be important to her. So if that's something that you say hits her person, possibly for me, man, I think. I struggle with.
I think there could be some compromises on some way that someone looks, but not, to what would be your extreme. Like, somebody could be,
because I think that's what we're thinking when you say, okay, you might not be attracted to this person, and that doesn't always necessarily mean that this person is the hunchback. Sorry, hunchback. Notre Dame, because
to some degree there could be some leeway, but it can't just be like, I can't. It can't be to the point of I can't.
Right. And so that means that I guess that would mean that looks are important. They're important, but they're not the whole kit and caboodle.
No.
I think that looks are very important.
Mm-hmm.
To a certain degree, but I think that the crazy part is, out of all the people that I've dated, I don't like what I visually look at and be like, oh damn.
Right.
I don't think that I've dated that person,
to a T.
To a T. Like, the people I've dated have had those aspects of it, but not to a T.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like I won't compromise everything that I find attractive, but there are some things that are more important to me. Who that person is at their core is more important to me. Loyalty is more important to me. Somebody I can have a conversation with on a regular basis. Somebody who's going to be my ride or die is more important to me. Now, I would like for you to have all your fingers and toes and teeth. But
I don't know what about that makes us, that unattractiveness makes us think, oh my God, like what's going to come? I guess true to what you were saying, it would just have to be somebody that, if everything else is right, the look factor just has to mean that I know that this person can hold me down. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So that's probably why I have a certain type of guy that I'm into. Like, I like tall guys. And it's not just I like tall guys because they tall. It's more so I feel a sense of protection. Mm-hmm. Dating someone that's shorter than me would not really work, in certain aspects.
You would be a little person.
They are off the chain.
There's anything wrong with dating a little person.
There's nothing wrong with dating.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with dating a little person, but it just, I don't know, guys.
I think that there's a difference between somebody being like a booger bear ugly and somebody that you're not attracted to. So it might be a person that if somebody saw him on your arm, that people would be like, oh, why is she dating him?
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's just that he may not be what you normally would go for.
All right, so then let's take that question up a notch.
Okay.
Would you, let's take the conversation out.
I just want to add, Iris said, I think because that means they don't take care of themselves.
Right.
Check them nails for their,
missing teeth and all that stuff. That's a good point, Iris.
Right.
What do you guys think about, let's take the question up a notch. What do you guys think about them not saying anything? Have you declined an invite to a date with someone because of their looks?
Yeah. But, I'm not in that
back
experience.
in college.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I did.
Yeah. Okay, me too. All right.
Have you? Oh, you say you have.
Yeah, I have. I had quite an experience with a guy.
What?
Yeah, where it's like, okay, where it's like, we went out on a date and I tried, but it was like all the pieces didn't fit together, so it just, became that added to.
Yeah, it's like, I really don't like you now. I kind of didn't like you before, but I really don't like you now.
You be reinforcing that stuff. All right, so next question. how realistic? No, let's go here. So, have you ever had a long distance relationship with
No.
someone that you just talked by way of phone, and could you?
I have not, and I don't think I could. Because it's like, one, I'm not really a phone person where I really want to. Well, I take that back. I will sit and have a conversation for a few hours, but how many times we gonna do that? It's like, then what?
I mean,
Like,
you know, planes and trains and buses.
yeah, but you
plan
know,
to visit.
I'm visiting you how often? Like once a month, once every
Mhm.
2 months. Like how
I guess
often?
whatever your schedules allow. And then at some
Mhm.
point it'll get to a point that somebody says, okay, we need to come together in a common space.
Right,
you
because
know?
I think at this point too in life, it's kind of like we're too. I got that. It's like we're too old for long distance relationships at this point.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I don't think there's an age
How
limit
does
to
that
all.
work though?
Because I mean, I think if you fall in love and decide to take the relationship to the next level, it's gonna be like, so am I moving to Chicago or are you moving?
Okay,
to
so
Florida?
and eventually to get there.
Mhm.
Iris said I used to date not cute guys purposely. Don't ask me why. I want to know why.
Some people say the not so cute guys are nice.
They say they gonna treat you real good because they know, like, dang, I landed her, so let me be real nice to her.
But then there's also the thing: the nice guys finish last. Is that because they're not attractive? I don't know.
No. I have the swag. Like to me, if you think I don't know, I hate to say people are not nice looking. I think it's all about how you carry yourself.
Yeah.
There are some guys that to me like if you got the swag, if you can carry yourself, if you can have a conversation, if
You can make up for some of the.
absolutely.
It will.
Absolutely.
I'll never forget the story that a coworker of mine told me where, I'm sorry. She was like, she went to her friend's house. Her friend was dating this guy and finally told, you know, the girls like, hey, you know, I'm dating this guy, you know, I want y'all to meet him or whatever. And she said when she got to her friend's house, she was like, look, just so you know, like he's really good to me. He treats me really good. I can't remember if she had kids or not, but she, you know, she was like, he does all this. He gives me money. He's really nice. I really like him. The girl's like, well, why are you telling me all this?
These disclaimers, right?
So when she turned the corner and met him, she was like, what? But she was like, he was not her cup of tea.
Mm-hmm.
So she was like, this is why she gave me the disclaimer, because she didn't want me to look at him and get shocked.
Wow.
Like, where did he come from? So,
wow. And so wait, so this is your friend telling a story about another friend?
yeah.
Oh, so did she say what she thought about him when
She said he was not attractive. And her friend knew that he wasn't attractive, but he checked off everything else. He was good to her, was like catered to her, and you know, took care of her. So she was like, I'm gonna give him a shot.
Yeah.
So
man.
You might be missing your king out here.
You're right, missing your king out here. But I think I just, and I don't want to seem shallow, but they are off the chain tonight. I don't want to have to give anybody a disclaimer.
Right.
I don't want to do the disclaimer.
I don't want to be like, before you see him, don't pay attention to the fact that his I don't know.
Yeah, gosh, this is tough. Because you know, I feel bad. I just feel like I want everybody to be loved and find their partner.
Everybody does. There's somebody for everybody.
Yeah.
What you may not find attractive, somebody else might be like, that is my king right there.
Yeah, because I've even said, "Ooh, guys, I'm dating this new guy, and he is so fun." Deonna and Bianca would see him, and be like,
"Oh,
what's wrong with it?"
Okay,
but he's fine to you.
Right. Absolutely,
You know?
my point. So when it comes to dating, here's a good fact. When it comes to dating, 71% of singles say that they're more interested in long-term relationships now than before the pandemic. What do you guys think about that?
I think that the pandemic made people lonely, or recognize that, you know, maybe they miss having a human interaction at home.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really didn't give much thought to it to one of my coworkers who lived alone with, no family, no children or whatever. On one of the Zoom meetings was like, man, I'm just tired of being in this house by myself and no one's here and it's so quiet. It's like nerve wracking. And I'm thinking like, girl, you want to come to my house and I go to your house? It's loud over here, But I was like, man, that does have to be hard to be like solely by yourself when we were in that period of isolation. Like you for real isolated.
Right.
Yeah.
So human connection is important.
Human connection is definitely important. I find it shocking that people don't want it to be in longer term relationships because of that fact. I thought marriages were breaking up and
it was. So marriages were breaking up. I think some people realize like, what did I do? Like,
well, I think like they were saying like for people who were say in a domestic violence situation, now you're with this person 24/7.
Yeah.
Or if you were more in I guess a relationship of leisure, like we just together because we've been together for so long.
Convenience.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people were together for convenience. Like we had the kids together, so we don't just be together. But a lot of people got to the realization, like, okay, our kids are graduating, so bye.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or there are people who realize, like, I got wrapped up in the whole, let's get married, let's have the wedding, let's white picket fence. I'm going to finally live this dream that I always wanted to have, but then you realize that wasn't the person that was in your dream.
Yeah,
so,
it's like don't put that much pressure, I think, on your marriage too. Like if it's like, and this is everything that I wanted, like just be married and be in it and get to know the person. I was just shocked and surprised that people weren't like trying to just kind of like get away from each other, like separate. Like you go on a run or do some self-care activities. You don't have to be. We weren't necessarily stuck in we were stuck in the house, but outdoor activities were okay a lot of the time. So I don't know why more people didn't just leave the house, don't leave the relationship.
Well, some people were afraid to actually leave the house.
Yeah.
But I also got people, at one point when we were both like completely 100% working from home, we were sitting at the same table working, and some people were like, y'all sitting this close together, or y'all working together from the dining room table, and it's like, yeah. But some people I find it weird that we eat together. There's so many people that families that everybody just eat in their rooms or in common spaces or as they get home from different schedules or whatever. But they like, oh, y'all still eat together like that. But we don't find that to be like unusual. Yeah.
What did y'all do to keep things together during the pandemic? Just be normal.
Yeah, I think we were already used to being together a lot. So, but we did initially we homeschooled the kids. They didn't like the virtual learning, so we were like, forget it. We set up a little school area at home, put poster boards up, and they enjoyed it. Like they were like, it's time for school. They were still pretty small. Kindergarten and pre-K, I think it was.
Yeah.
So, or kindergarten and first grade, whatever. So it was like we did school after our work hours, but it was enjoyable, and I thought it was great to really see what concepts the kids were strong in, what things they needed help in, because they were getting that one-to-one attention. It was great.
Yeah.
But dealing specifically with relationships, kids aside, like the two of y'all.
Yeah, I'm to me, it didn't feel much different from when we were working outside of the home. I think because when the hours that we are at home was just I guess amplified. Like we still were doing the same thing that we would normally do. So I guess if you are a person who look forward to being away from the people that you live with, outside, to me the hard. I mean, some people be like, they see going to work or going wherever as a way to be away from the people that they live with. So if that's the case, then I could see how that could be hard. But I think I wasn't feeling like, oh my God, I have to be with these people 24/7. I think what made it hard for work is, young kids, they want your attention. So,
Right.
Yeah.
And eventually, people got used to, at first I kept making, excuse me, apologies like, oh, I'm sorry, you might hear some noise in the background, the kids are home, but it became to be such a thing, for so many people, then it was like, hey, don't make excuses for your kids.
Right.
Background noise or whatever.
Yeah.
So.
Yes, those first couple of months working from home was definitely interesting. The noises and the sounds that go on in my house is kind of crazy. It's not as crazy as it sounds, but it definitely gets there. For sure. What?
I was like,
okay, so let's talk more about dating. Have you guys, or would you ever, do speed dating? And what do you think about it?
I've never done it, but maybe I would. I don't know. I think the concept is interesting. You get, X amount of time to talk to each person.
Yeah.
So I think that's a simple enough concept.
Yeah. What about you?
I've never done it. I think it could be fun, for people who are dating, and
I almost did it and I chickened out. Yeah, I was like, I do remember. I chickened out because it's like, oh my god, like lightning round. But I think too, it's like, am I gonna be picked, or the person
right.
that I like, but they want to, proceed forward or whatever. But I chickened out. I think now I probably would do it. I was probably in my 20s when I almost did it.
There's still a little bit of nerves there, You're like, am I gonna be picked? You don't want to be the last person on the softball team.
Organizers out there, let us know.
I mean, Deonna, no, because we know a speed dater coordinator, and yes, I think I want to pass on speed. I think. How important, and I'm kind of all over the place now with my questions, but how important is height to you guys?
I don't think it's like, in the top 5, but it might be the 6th man off the bench. You know what I mean? Like, you can't be 5'2". Like, that's not going to work. But anything taller than me,
what if that guy had everything?
I just don't, he would be my son. I feel like I'm dating my son if he's shorter than me. If you're my height or taller, I can deal with that.
So is height a non-negotiable?
I don't think it's a non-negotiable, but you can't be shorter than me.
Yeah, well, and then how can you negotiate your height?
I'm just saying, there's some people who, I like taller people, but I have dated people who are not 6 feet tall.
Right.
Like, I'm okay with that. But
tell him to wear heels.
Right. But if somebody walked up to me and they're 5'7", I would be like, you 5'7", you know what I mean?
Right.
I just, it'd be whatever, but you can't walk up to me and be Bushwick Bill. Did I ever tell you about the time that Deonna Let me tell you about this.
Let me tell you, I didn't know it was the Bushwick Bill.
Guys, let me tell you about
We met him at the same time.
We were at a gas station?
No.
Where did we meet them at?
So
I late teens, early 20s.
I had met the guy, the one guy prior to you meeting the friend.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, why don't you have your friend come meet my cousin or whatever? And he told me that his cousin was best friends with my brother when they were younger or something. But I was imagining a totally different guy. He said, you know my cousin. He said, he know you. His name is Joe. So I was like, okay. But, there's probably 10 guys named Joe that we knew growing up. This Joe, I never met before. This Joe was literally a little person. He drove on
Is this mic on?
Yeah.
Guys, so my perspective, I meet him. He's sitting on a pillow. He had to hop out of the car. He had to do this to get out of the car. And I was like, oh my God, it's Bushwick Bill. Like, I'm afraid of Bill. And what is happening? And I'm like, Deonna, are you serious right now?
thought it was a different guy.
I was a little like, girl, you cannot. And I had to stay there and be wingman. But the whole time, I'm like, please, sir, don't talk to me.
Oh, wow.
You know you're 3'5". Like, come on. Y'all should tell people that.
I didn't know. I met him the same time you did. So I knew the guy that I was with, who wasn't very tall, by the way, but he was taller than the little person cousin who tried to make me believe that I knew him.
There's nothing wrong with little people at all.
Absolutely not. But that's what I'm saying. I think for a lot of women that
height is a deal.
Height is definitely important.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for sure.
I just feel like it's not much to ask for you to be taller than me.
Yeah, I'm not.
Jesus, I don't know. I have had an experience where I went back in our clubbing days.
Yeah, shorter than you.
Yeah. Back in our clubbing days, you know how guys would come behind you and dance on you and stuff like that. In my 20s, oh God, it's not good, guys. This is gonna make me sound so horrible. But yeah, so I danced with the guy. I never turned around. Like, here's my dumbo, like whatever. And then,
right.
And then the next day he wanted to take me out on a date. So I went out on a date with this guy. And he gets out of the car, and I'm just like,
Shelly, no, no, Shelly here, broken dress. You go now.
Yeah, it was like I can't. Like I couldn't. So height it's not a negotiable type of item, but I can't. Like for me, it's
top 6. It's top 6. Right?
Top 6.
Okay,
Yeah.
top 3.
Yeah.
Top 5. Top 5. Yeah, there's a protection aspect to it. So
little guys can fight.
I'm sure.
Break somebody's elbow.
Ankles. All right. So another interesting statistic is blind dates are often thought of as awkward endeavors. Yet research finds that 4 in 10 Americans have been on one. In an exclusive study done by datingadvice.com, 43% of Americans said that they've gone on a blind date. Have we asked that directly? Have you ever been on a blind date? A setup? I guess. Would you consider that what Deonna did? A blind date?
That wasn't a date.
That was not a date. Period.
That was hanging out.
That was a hangout. Barely. Because I was over here with
teenagers.
But I've never been on a blind date. I don't know if I could do a blind date.
Okay.
What is blind date?
Like,
so blind
date set you up with somebody.
Without you, like...
Without me seeing him?
Yes.
Yeah. Both ways. Like, him seeing you or you seeing him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so.
No.
I trust y'all with a lot of stuff, but I don't trust y'all with nobody for me.
That's a shame.
Jeez, that's not nice.
No,
If I was single, I would allow y'all to set me up. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? I mean, if it don't work out, then it's like, okay, we went out, we tried, it didn't work, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's not like if you go out on a date, you locked and loaded with this person.
Very true.
Yeah.
I guess. Maybe.
Trust us.
I'll think about it.
Yeah.
Not that we have anybody to
Yeah,
set you up with, but I mean.
now we know how you.
I just feel like Shelly does not ask a lot of questions.
Oh my God.
I have questions.
I
have questions.
Me too.
See, and
I'm questioning
contrary
loaded.
to the belief, see, they've never been on a date with me. I was told by one guy that I dated before that he was that was it. Like he was never gonna date me again because I did ask him a bunch of questions.
Oh.
So
But you don't ask the people you hook us up with questions.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Shelly
did.
Wait a minute.
Work me up with somebody. She asked no damn questions. And my questions was like, wow.
Wait a minute.
Threw me to the wall.
You wasn't ready.
He was short.
He was not short.
Who was not short?
Okay.
Please tell me.
Shorter
He was short.
than you.
Yes.
Okay. Oh God.
Short with a gang of kids. She asked no questions.
A lot of I'm so sorry. We were in our teens.
Early
20.
Right.
Leading up to probably 19 and everything. I did. I did, and I regret that to this day. But
No,
see,
it's all
she just said it. She just said, but you don't have to be married to them.
I definitely was not. I definitely was like, you know.
Yeah.
And then I think Deonna might be like, oh, I think he's fine. And, you know, like, he's acceptable. And I'll be like, Deonna.
For
like,
you.
What,
I
in terms
did.
of what he looks like?
Yeah.
No.
So would you let me and Bianca hook you up?
I said
Yeah,
I would.
you would. You would. And
I've done it before. I mean,
yeah. I don't
I've
think
never
that
hooked you up
I
with
would.
anybody.
I'm talking about this one.
Oh, it was so long ago. I was hoping you wasn't gonna even tell this story. I would not let you guys hook me up. You guys don't know.
Dang.
Except for we do know.
Except for we do.
See, they know what they know
Physical.
physically, probably what I like.
I think
But
personality.
I think you guys want to keep me.
Physically, I don't know what you like. Personality and all that other stuff, I know what you like. Because
Yeah.
I don't think anybody you dated looks
The same.
the same.
They have some attributes that are similar. Some of them.
Mhm.
I think I could tag somebody for Shelly. But you actually did date somebody that I hooked you up with. Anyway. You want me to say his name?
No.
No.
Okay then, well.
It's just like that.
You always
Okay,
forget about
that
him.
yes, I did. Yeah, there were some people that kind of just like, just like the conversation wasn't there. Something important was missing.
Mhm.
Where it's like,
Yeah.
on to the next guy.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
That's what dating is about.
Yeah. Dating is, getting to know somebody, see if you connect, and if you don't.
No hard feelings.
No hard feelings.
hard
My
feelings.
mom played matchmaker one time with this couple that she used to work with. She used to work at this big bank. And she hooked this couple up, and they ended up getting married.
Aww.
But I would feel like if they got divorced or whatever. But I think she said that they're still together last time I checked.
Oh,
I
okay.
asked her about it. All right. Last point. The United States, or last statistic, the United States is the country with the highest percentage of its population using online dating services. Approximately 53 million people, translating to a percentage rate of 15.7%. It's also a country with the highest gross margin for people who utilize online dating services.
Mhm.
What do you guys think about online dating?
So I've never done it because when this started taking off, I was already, with my husband.
Mm-hmm.
But I know a lot of people who have used it. And I think initially, like the early 2000s, I was like, I don't know how
Everybody
people do
felt like
that.
it was unsafe.
Yeah, that's,
But now I think it's just become
The
like,
norm.
like going to a club and meeting somebody.
Yeah.
Or, I don't think it's as unsafe because you can find out a lot about a person online.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, you definitely can.
You
And
know,
I
all
think
their profiles and
Yeah, that's
Right.
right.
I try to play the closer role to like dating somebody that I kind of know or whatever, but I think I'm kind of getting away from doing that too because I'm like, you don't know them either.
Right.
I think it's just best to kind of, if you're in a dating stage, like kind of put yourself out there and meet people and see
Be
what you
open
just
to it.
be open to it for sure.
Iris
Alright.
stated that her son, my nephew, met his wife
Oh,
online.
very, very cool.
Yeah.
And they just got married.
Yeah, they got married August of last year.
Mm-hmm.
I know several online couples who have gotten married.
Mm-hmm.
So did I cover everything in our relationship Love is Blind?
It is. So the question remains: is love blind or not?
Ooh, is love blind? Deonna.
I would say no. Love has eyes.
Love wears glasses.
But I will say this,
Context.
like love is an action word. So it's not just about, a warm and fuzzy feeling. It is a choice.
Mhm.
You have to choose people you love daily, whether it be in a relationship like, partnership or friendship or, whatever, the ship at the end. Ship of your
Ship.
choice. it's a choice.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like, we lost the camera. Are we still live?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I don't know where our audio went, but we're still here. Oh, we're still here by the grace of God.
Just keep talking.
Yeah.
Requires you to make a choice. And it's like, do you choose your loved ones daily in spite of their mistakes, their flaws, you know, and everything that encompasses who they are.
Yeah.
So, love is not blind. And I want you to see me. I want you to see all of me, you know, good, bad, and indifferent, and still choose me.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think love is one of those things where it's you know, unless you are actually blind, you know.
Love has.
That can't be serious. I cannot be serious.
And cataract.
I'm not gonna lie
I
with this.
cannot be serious with them on anything. I just can't. No, if you were dating a blind man, even me in love is blindness. If y'all had dated Stevie Wonder,
we both gotta be blind, then. Like, love can be blind for the blind man, but
I was married a lot of
right.
times.
I
was
was gonna say not even the blind man, because like Ray Charles was feeling the wrist. They like they trying to get imagine how you look based on how you feel. You know,
I tried to be poetic. I just can't. I don't think that love is blind. I think every aspect of somebody is insightful for you to pick and determine if this person is your person.
Yeah.
And I think that no, love is not blind.
I think I agree with Deonna that love is a choice. However, you could choose to overlook something.
Somebody cut off me. That's hilarious.
Yeah, Shelly's right. You could choose to not be so, I don't want to say picky, but you could choose to love somebody based on their characteristics and not what society or what other people are going to think about your mate. You could choose to love them based on who they are at their core and their person. Obviously, they have to be attractive. You have to be attracted to them or
Something about
quality
them.
about them. But it doesn't have to be you got to be 6 feet tall. You got to be this. You got to make $100,000 a year. You got to do this. You got to do that. You have to,
Yeah, I don't even think people really have those. I think
people
good
do,
women.
girl.
Well, I think good women and good men don't really have I think that's immaturity. Like, he gotta be 6 foot tall and he has to make this in his account. I think, to me, I feel like that's almost like limiting yourself to what could actually possibly come into your life. Like,
absolutely.
An exact amount or an exact height. I think that's kind of.
And I think sometimes even when people have those lists, there's an exception to the rule.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like we haven't touched on it, I don't think, thus far, but like, how do you feel about interracial dating? I always said, like, I would not intentionally, purposely, or actively seek a mate outside of my race. So if I were to end up being with someone outside of my race, it would be because it was something that just was really organic, authentic, and we probably like met at work, became friends, and intentionally fell in love. Like, but I'm not someone who would necessarily go seek a mate outside of my race.
That's a good point. Would you?
I think I would. I think I would. The opportunity is never presented. So, I told you, I was like, I'm gonna date me a little white man.
Yeah.
But
you used to always say that.
But I think the opportunity has never presented itself. I do think it comes with some challenges, though. It really depends on that individual. If they understand what it's like to date a Black woman, if they are an ally to the Black community, then yes, I probably could. But I've seen some couples where it's like the husband's like, "Oh, you're one of the good ones," or the wife is like, "You're one of the good ones," but still, I've seen women online, they'll have Black babies, and would be calling somebody the N-word and talking all type of, talk. And it's like, but your kids.
Yeah, I think that you can love someone and marry somebody of opposite race, but it doesn't necessarily give you like a pass to do whatever. Like, I think you can still, be appropriate and appreciate the differences. I do think in a lot of ways we're more alike than we are different. But,
you ain't willing to give it a try.
I said I would be, but I wouldn't necessarily. So I don't necessarily
seek it out.
I wouldn't seek it out, nor do I like when I hear someone of, any particular race say they don't date within their race. Like, I'll never date another black woman, or I'll never date a black man. I think that's a little insane.
How do you feel about someone outside of our race saying, I only date black women?
Yeah, I think that's weird too. I think that regardless of what your race is, if you say you don't date your race because of X, Y, Z, that means you got some trauma that you need to heal and you need to work on that.
Yeah.
Now, you like what you like. I don't mind you saying, man, I'm really attracted to black women because of this, and that. Not that I hate dating white women, but this is what I'm attracted to. That's fine. Because it might be people out here like, I'm attracted to redheads. And I seek out a redheaded person,
I almost dated a Hispanic guy. I was in my early 20s at this time, and he wanted to date me because he thought he liked me, but he was like, he does not date Hispanic women. And his brother worked at this job too, and he was like, yes, he's crazy about black women, and he was so I could have dated him. We could have been one of them.
I don't like guys of any race, black or whatever, who make it seem like it's like an obsession or a fantasy or a fetish. Yeah, I'm not your fetish.
Yeah.
So that would be problematic if you might think it's a selling point to be like, oh, I just love black women. I don't like no.
Yeah.
I'm not a fetish.
Yeah.
A creepy incident happened to me. When I was in my early 20s, I didn't have a car, so I used to catch public transportation. And one day I had to catch a cab to work because I was late. I know nobody catches cabs anymore. That's Uber and Lyft is out now, but it was a Middle Eastern man. And somehow he just started going on this rant about black women and how, he would love to be with a black woman because I heard black women do this and they're this way and they're like this and blah, blah, blah. And then after you talked all that fetish talk, tried to kick it to me, and I'm like, let me out of this car. Matter of fact, you can drop me off right here. I'm good. I can walk the rest of the way because it's like now I feel unsafe.
Yeah.
So, I like that. I had a masseuse like that. Like, was like, oh my God, like it's not every day that I get to work on a African American queen.
No, that would be
he was so creepy. I don't know how I made it through that massage. We'll never.
Yeah, that's creepy.
But
don't be creepy,
So at the end of the day, love is not blind.
Love is not blind.
Her was blind. It's a choice.
Yes, but let us know your thoughts. Let us know if you think love is blind, or if you've had a blind date experience that turned out great. Maybe you weren't attracted to them, but you eventually married them, or vice versa.
And I think as the show continues on, The Love is Blind, I would be interested to know the stats of how many of the marriages stay together long term.
Yeah. Well, the black couple that I was talking about, Ayana and Jared, just announced their divorce 3 weeks ago, but another couple from the same season just announced their divorce. So I'm sure there's some statistics behind it.
Because I'm sure they probably feel rushed to make this decision.
But there's some that are married that are still married from the first season.
Yeah.
How many seasons are there?
2.
2. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool.
So I'll be interested to see, because a lot of non-blind marriages end in divorce. Like, will their longer outcomes be similar to just the regular?
Well, a lot of cultures they prearrange the marriage. You don't know the person,
So arranged marriages in some places have kind of evolved, where there's still an arrangement, but the people, do get to meet and mingle before they actually get married.
Mhm.
Not like way back when they just really met at the altar.
Yeah, my friend from she's from India. She was in an arranged marriage, and it was some traditional stuff and some non-traditional stuff. She was able to see a picture of him beforehand. She did have a conversation with him, but that conversation took place at the ceremony, so they were like in it to win it. And they are still together and have children, so I think it all worked out. And she was excited. She thought that we would all think that was very weird because she lives here in America and has been here for such a long period of time.
Mm-hmm.
But she stayed true to her culture, and
a lot of those arranged marriages.
My parents need to arrange something for me.
Right, they last and stand the test of time.
Girl, you be fighting them. They talking about you about to get married next week.
I would, but I wonder would they ever try to hook me up with someone? Like my mom says that I don't know if she says she would or she wouldn't. So I have to ask her.
Mm-hmm. We'll find out. I'm sure she'll comment.
Yeah, she out here getting people married and stuff.
Right. So,
it can happen.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of What's Brewing, sis. Yes. Don't forget to check out the book, get the book, buy it wherever books are sold. September 29th, we'll be talking to the author. It is called Tanya's Journey of Forgiveness.
Tanya's
Journey of Forgiveness with Jacqueline Stewart is the author. You saw the video at the top of the hour. Mm-hmm. Is there anything else we want to announce?
No, but I think before we go, because of our audio, we should replay the video, right?
Yeah, we could definitely replay that video so you guys could check it out, and we'll do that on the outro. But we will have some more news.
Oh, we have some. Yes, oh my God, guys, we have some amazing news.
Subscribe to our newsletter. Yes. So you'll go to our website
at cafecocolatte.com, and right on the homepage you'll see a link, and you can sign up for our newsletter, and you'll be the first to know about the great news that we have coming up. We got some big things planned for the weekend too, so please keep us in your prayers because we're gonna be making some big moves soon, I think.
Absolutely.
We'll see. We're definitely going to be making some big moves, but stay tuned, guys.
Stay tuned. Yes.
And keep it brewing.
Keep it brewing.
Hello, everybody. I'm writer Jacqueline Stewart, and I'm super excited to be right here on What's Brewing Sis podcast. I first want to thank you ladies so much for taking the time to read my book, and not just that, but for sharing the story of Tanya's journey of forgiveness with your community. This is a story that encompasses losing love, healing, forgiveness, self-discovery, friendship, and finding love again. I want you to take time to read it and then join me right back here on September 29th.